Hello, everyone. Just here to update a little bit of the S&P 500. As you can see, I've cleared some of my notes from previously. I've left this for yesterday, and I've done like a quick summary of what I'm thinking today. So basically, what I think today is that the markets are slowing down, as we can see on the volume is drying up. If we put a line there, we can see that it's going down, as well as of that the price has hit the top of the pulling bands. And if we actually make an area here, it seems that the market is reacting to this resistance level. We have two confluences, so it hits the pulling band and is hitting a resistance level. Plus, to be fair with you, the market seems to be pretty impulsively on the way up. To which I think that the market will need to at least have a breather. So we might be looking at the market pull a bit down, maybe form a pattern, to maybe then continue. This mostly will be, a deeper pullback, maybe to the support in between 5,000, 5,580 and between 5,670. And then if it hits, it should supposedly react, even though it breaks this trend line. However, this trend line is very inclined, which means that the market is actually really strong as it is at the time being. But I do believe that the market needs to pull back, to at least the 10 EMA on the daily, because it's just too overextended. With that said, I don't have any trading ideas today because is basically the market is too overextended to me. So I don't want to be trading any setups today just because it's too overextended and it needs to at least pull slightly back. I can go on stocks. By the way, this is my first video, so I don't even know if my camera is actually well positioned because I can't even see it on my screen. And this is my first video anyway. Oh, it's switched off. Let me see if I can switch it on. Wait, it's over there as well. I don't mind my clothes on the back on the back of my door, just because it's where I put some of the clothes to dry up anyway, especially my work stuff. With that said, I can go on the stocks. As we can see, the market today is very negative. I got a few greens. For example, Excelis. Hope I said that correctly. As you can see, the Excelis has gone really good. It's behaved really well. I've got two trades on this, or I've traded at 35.55 and 36.87 because it gave me two trading opportunities. That's basically what we want. And as we can see, we are pretty good. Where Let me see if I can drag this around. Where we are at around 25% in profit on the first trade, and on the second trade we are at 20% profit. If this continues, but basically on this trade, what I will would like to see is that the price basically will need to pull back, obviously, and then possibly react from the 10 EMA, and then we possibly get another entry to you know target our 50% of the first trade. Basically what we do in this basically just accumulate as the market continues to go up, and then take profits if the market starts going down according to the strategy. With that said, at the time being, it is. Let me see if I take this off. It is behaving well, and I'm pretty happy with this trade. I have the Atos trade, to which I actually took profit today because to me this trade is not behaving as I would like to. I wanted to do the 200% since I've bought a couple of months ago, and as the price here seems to be at 22. They had a reverse split, which means that the price from was like at a few cents. It came up to, I think it was around here. It came up to 44 as it was, and now it's just basically trading sideways to me. Therefore, I've just took the profits and accumulated that, to which I can take this out and probably just leave a note for me. Expected. And then I move this down. We got dogs to which it's not behaving the best, but it will possibly pull back and then continue up. However, if it hits my stop loss, I will be cutting the loss. PAM is behaving all right. It's still growing. Excel, where we've spoken about. Uber, it's behaving all right as well. But as you can see, what's happening is that the market is hitting, has hit the Bulligan bands, is overextended, and therefore, because it has behaved really aggressively to the up after hitting the 10 EMA, we are expecting at least a pullback from it. Virt, it's pulling back. It has been pulling back for a while. To me, as it is behaving, is testing the 10 EMA. And with that said, we could be potentially looking at another trade. And because the market is pulling up today, even if it was green today, I would possibly wouldn't set up another entry, just because if I did, the likelihood of the price, or not the likelihood, but the possibility that the market could continue it downwards and hitting me the stop loss to then continue would be high. So what I would like to do is that allow the general market, which is the S&P 500, to pull back a little bit so that it is at an area of interest, and then we can put another entry to continue upwards. Oops. So Village Supermarkets, at the time being, it's behaving okay. It's not the best. It's came back, hit the 20 MA, came back up. Market is drying up in volume on the way down, and therefore that's good news for us. It means that the market might possibly be looking at the triangle here, and will possibly break out, to which is what we want to have. And if it does break out with volume, that means we will set up another trade on the way up, and possibly reduce the stop loss as well, reduce risk. We got crows, Keraterapitics, which is, volume is drying up, which is good news for us. At the same time as it is forming a descending triangle, and therefore, if it actually gives us an entry with volume, we will possibly get another entry. Got TW. TW is behaving alright, but I don't like this amount of volume after hitting the top of the Bollinger Bands. We do got dividends, so the likelihood of people or traders to come out of it just a few days before the dividends is low. However, we never know what the markets are going to do exactly, and therefore I'm still protected. However, because the market is hitting the 10 and 20 MA, what might possibly happen is that the market might react with volume on the way up, and as you can see, the volume is drying down on this asset as well, which is good news. However, we never know how the markets are going to behave, and therefore we need to be attentive to it. I got Amarin Corporation as well, which is it's a bit scary, really. But my strategy is that if I see a good movement with volume, which has happened over here, I've set up a trade on the next day and a little bit late, probably, possibly, not possibly. I did get a better entry point. However, the market has dried up volume on the way up and is actually, increased in volume and gone all the way down, to which is not ideal. But until it hits my stop loss, I will continue to be on the trades. As you can see, at the time being, what the market is doing is it is hitting a support area, and it has reacted. It has opened at 94.44 or around there. It came all the way down to 93.28, and then is closing more, give or not take, the same point as the open of the day. With that said, it's not the best trade I've took, but it is what it is. The markets are not always, reliable as they should be. The earnings are not the best. We did have a surprise on the revenue of 9.43%, but then on the reported earnings, we only have 0.39%. It's not the worst, but it's not the best either. But we just need to let the market play out what it wants to play. Here, I have a couple of notes here. What happened on this trade? I should have been, well, at the time being, I should have been 36% up. However, but what happened in this situation is that I was working, and I just decided to go and look at the markets, because the markets sometimes can react irrationally. So what I did is that when I took my profits around there, I took it throughout work. But my strategy says once the market reaches a certain percentage, I should take my profits at the 20 MA close of the candle. However, it never closed. But when I was looking at my phone, for some reason, it appeared to me that it closed underneath the 20 MA. So I've closed the trade on that day. But then I came home and I was like, oh no, I actually made a mistake. So it cost me some profits. But then what happens is that the market basically, as strategy says to me, it did a big move down on the day after the earnings, but the earnings were all right. And then what happened is that the market reacted positively, and then after that, it made a big engulf. Well, I wouldn't say engulfing, but I would call this a morning star. So we got a black candle. Well, it should be a doji, but then the reaction, it basically retook the 10 EMA. So I put another entry over there, to which is behaving all right. But if we go on the weekly, we should be aware that it is getting overextended on the weekly from the 10 EMA. So it might pull back down, but as it is behaving at the time being, is behaving okay. So I will keep going with it unless it starts going down. Might as well. I can see that we have a trending line over here, and if it cuts the trend line for me, I'll just cut the loss or take the profits, just because it's overextended from the weekly. We got BLX. BLX, it's behaving all right so far. It's had a couple of reactions from the 10 EMA. For example, here it has done a V move, broke the structure, then came back down to the 10 EMA, and then retook the 10 EMA, however, without volume. So it's not an entry that I usually take. And then it came back down again to the 10 EMA, retook again the 10 EMA, however, with lower volume. So it's less believable. However, here it came, it reacted south and then opened at 39.51, touched the 10 EMA, and then moved completely up with great volume, which means that there's institutional involvement onto this stock, and therefore the bullish possibility are increase. Then we have JD.com, to which yesterday behaved really well with high amounts of volume. We got a nice earning surprise of 19.65% and the 3.82% on revenue. However, is 1.53 billion of surprise. It has done a revenue of 41.48 billion, which is, to me, it's extremely good. And for the price that it is, I think it's a very good play to buy. Then what we want to do as well is that if the price starts making a pattern and then hits the 10 EMA or 20 EMA and then reacts with volume, we put another entry on the way up. With that said, this is my first video I'm doing. Making a general analysis of my the stocks that I'm invested in, and what I've done or like mistakes that occurred to me, and let me know what you think. if you think I could improve on anything, probably on my speech. English is not my first language anyway, but I'll do the best I can to articulate and explain what I'm doing on the markets. My strategy is fairly simple. It seems that it is a little bit muddled up, but it's not, at least on my eyes. I can see many things on this chart. I know, and I can see that there's an area of resistance as support over here. When the price broke from this resistance, then came back and reacted multiple times. So it makes it a good support resistance area. And then, as you can see, it broke back here. And then once it reached there, it reacted as a resistance and it came back down. And it's doing exactly the same thing now. The same thing applies to this trend line, which is on the higher time frame. We are on a descending channel, which means that we are most likely going to continue after this impulse to the upside. The way I do the remaining of the markets that I have is that I go on the weekly and see the stocks that are close to the EMAs, because the more apart the price gets from the EMAs, the more the likelihood that the price has to come back to them. Therefore, what I want to see is that the price needs to be around the EMAs so that I can make a trading decision. Because the closer the price has to the EMAs, the more likelihood that the price has still strength to continue upwards or downwards. It depends how the market is behaving. As for the bro is basically getting too high, so therefore I will take it from my watch list, or more most interested stocks. As for a second, was it on bro? Oh, CRPT. Sorry, my mistake. I was a CRPT. As you can see, it's too extended, and I'm not interested anymore. I have bro. Bro has been on a correction move for quite a while. If we go from here, has been on a correction move for about months, just less than a month and a half. And what does that mean is that the market could very well react to an area of support, and then from that area of support, and this is doing a descending wedge. What we are looking for here is that it's reacting from a support area, and what we're looking for here is a price breaking this pattern with volume so that we can enter this stock. We got HTB. HTB is a pretty recent stock. By the looks of it, doesn't have much history. And as you can see, for example, on this pattern that it was doing, it basically broke here with volume. We could have entered here, with an 8% down. We could have 25%, which is higher. And we just let the market play out. It reacted here. We could have entered again here, where the volume kicked in as well. We could have had another entry over here at 1% out of the low. And we would have two trades on the green. But unfortunately, I didn't took it. So what I need to do is just wait for it to come back to the EMA so that we can get back up. Right. I'm getting close to the end of the video. So, there's another stocks that I would like to talk about. I already talked about this in my first video anyway. And therefore, I would like to wrap it up over here. Thank you very much if you watch until the end of this video, and I hope you enjoyed it and could understand as much as you could. Take some value, or even if it's just a little point of value, for me that means a lot. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you see you around. See you later.